Have you ever just felt off? Like a square peg trying to jam yourself into a round hole? Like you're stuck in a job or a situation that just doesn't quite vibe with who you are deep down? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to explore two really powerful frameworks, Riasec and Ocean, that can help you finally find where you truly belong. Everything really starts with this simple but honestly profound idea. Just picture a circle, completely hemmed in by a square frame. It can't roll, it can't move freely, it can't be a circle. And then you've got this poor square, fuming because it's stuck wobbling inside a circular hole. The thing is, they're both frustrated, right? But not because there's anything wrong with them, but because they're just in the wrong space. And that feeling is really the core of our story today. So to really get the solution, we kind of have to jump in a time machine and go back to where the problems started. Let's head back to the 1950s. It was this time of huge, huge change, but our way of thinking about careers, it hadn't really caught up yet. Okay, so the post-war economy was just booming, right? New jobs in new industries were popping up all over the place. But here was the catch. People were picking their life's work, kind of like they'd pick a box of cereal at the store, based on what their dad did or what just seemed familiar, not on what actually fit them. And this led to a whole lot of unhappy people. It was basically circles being forced into squares on a massive, massive scale. Back then, the attitude was pretty much, just get a job. Who cares if you like it? But luckily for us, one psychologist, Dr. John Holland, looked at this giant mismatch and thought, you know what, there has got to be a better way. He had this radical idea that maybe, just maybe, our personalities were the key to finding work we actually love. And that thinking led him to a brilliant solution, a framework that would totally change career counseling forever. So let's get into it. This is Riasec, a system designed to literally map your interests and connect them to the world of work. So Holland basically said, look, we can break down our work personalities into these 6 main types. You've got your doers, your thinkers, creators, helpers, persuaders, and organizers. Let's quickly break down what each of these really means. First up, the realistic types. We call them the doers. These are your hands-on folks. They're practical, sensible, and they love working with actual things. Tools, machines, plants, you name it. Next, we have the investigative types, or the thinkers. These people are fueled by curiosity. They love digging into ideas, analyzing data, and solving complex problems. Think of your classic scientist or detective. Then you have the artistic types, the creators. These are the people who just need freedom. They thrive in unstructured situations where they can be original and imaginative, whether it's through writing, music, or design. The social types are the helpers. Their battery gets recharged by being around other people and, well, helping them. They're your teachers, your counselors, your nurses, cooperative, kind, and just genuinely generous. After them, we've got the enterprising types, the persuaders. These are the natural-born leaders. They're energetic, optimistic, and they love to persuade, lead projects, and hit ambitious goals. Think entrepreneurs and managers. And last but not least, the conventional types, the organizers. These are the people who bring order to chaos. They love structure, data, and details. They're efficient, dependable, and make sure everything runs like a well-oiled machine. Okay, now here's the really cool part. You're not just one of these types. You're actually a unique combination of your top 3. And this mix gives you a 3-letter Holland code that acts like your personal career compass, pointing you towards jobs that just click. And you can see how this plays out in the real world. For example, if your code is AEC, that's artistic, enterprising, and conventional, you might be a perfect fit for a fashion entrepreneur. An REC code, that points to a hands-on startup founder. ASC, maybe a personal stylist or brand communicator. It's like a cheat code for finding your professional sweet spot. So Riasec is amazing. It helps us figure out what we enjoy doing. But what about who we are at our very core? Let's go back to our circle and square. Remember, being stuck isn't about being weak. It's a sign that you're in the wrong environment. And to really understand that, we need to go one layer deeper. And this is where our second incredible tool comes in. It's called Ocean, also known as the Big Five. And this one helps us decode our fundamental blueprint, the very essence of how we're wired to operate. So Ocean is an acronym for 5 core traits. You've got openness, which is all about your imagination and love for new experiences.
Conscientiousness is how organized and dependable you are. Extroversion is about where you get your energy, from being around people or from quiet time alone. Agreeableness is how cooperative and warm you tend to be. And finally, neuroticism, which is really a measure of emotional stability, is about how you handle stress and the roller coaster of life.
And here's a wild piece of history for you. This model was seriously developed and refined during the Cold War. Why? Well, because governments realized that understanding whether a diplomat was highly agreeable or a spy was low on conscientiousness could be a massive strategic advantage. It was high-stakes psychology. Okay, so now we have these two amazing tools. We've got Riasec and we've got Ocean. But the real magic, the part that gives you the complete picture, is when you use them together. Here's the simplest way to think about it. RISC is the what. It tells you what you enjoy, what activities you're drawn to. Ocean is the how. It tells you how you naturally show up in the world, your fundamental personality traits. One is about your interests, the other is about your inner wiring. And when you combine that what with that how, you get this incredibly powerful roadmap. It doesn't just point you toward a job title, it points you toward an entire environment, a team, a company culture, where you won't just survive, you will absolutely thrive. It's the difference between being that circle stuck in a square frame and being a circle rolling freely wherever it wants to go. So let's bring it all home. After going through all of this, what's the big takeaway? What does this really mean for you? It all boils down to this one single, incredibly important idea. You don't need to try and sand down your corners or stretch yourself out of shape to fit in. The goal is never, ever to change who you are. The real work, the important work, is to find the frame that was built for you all along. Because whether you're a circle or a square or something else entirely, there is a place for you. So the only question left is, what's yours?